All right. We are live. Hold on, get my music together. All right, we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. It is your man BMT in the building, and we got a hell of a show for you guys today. We talk about some passport pookies, and I guess you could say this is somewhat, passport news related stuff that's been going on in the travel space. There's been a lot going on in the travel space, but we're going to cover that today. First and foremost, I want to welcome everybody to the show. I got my man Kevin Rooms in the building. Says salute to you. Brandon Clark is also an admin on the Facebook group. Shout out to you, bro. Salute BMT and Passport fam. Appreciate you tuning in, man. We got my man CC92 in the building. Says salute. Here we go again. Yeah, you are correct. Here we go again, man. And we got my man Drew G007. Said bot killer in the house. Hopefully the bots don't hit us today. I know they hit us the last stream, so hopefully we should be in the game. But everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We got a lot to talk about today. I want to bring something up real quick before we get the show started, man. I want to say thank you. Hold on. I'm going to play that clip in a minute. That's a funny-ass clip. I should add in the travel group on Facebook. I'm going to show that in a minute. But I want to give a shout out to my man, Theo. Where is that at? Hold on. Let me add this back. Hold on. I want to give a shout out to my man, Theo. We did this stream for our Money Mondays. It was Monday night, basically. Is IT still the best path to remote work in the age of AI? We did about a 2-hour stream, did an open panel. The last hour of the stream, really, really good information for guys that are looking to live abroad, earn income, pretty much remote income. It was a little debatable towards the end, but I definitely want to thank Theo. Theo is a very busy man, very successful. And I appreciate him coming on the show to kind of help guys out in figuring out a way to leave the States, or even not even just leave the States, just figuring out a way to level up in life, man. And for him to take his time out to do that, I really appreciate him, man. It was a great show. I learned a lot of information myself about the different types of languages and, programming and, AI models and all that good stuff, man. So if you haven't checked that show out, if you're interested in, leveling up, maybe getting a job in IT. I know there's a lot going on with AI and all that good stuff, but we definitely talk about that in the show as well. So we talk about the VPNs, because like I said before, when I meet guys overseas, I always ask them, hey, what are you doing to live overseas full time? And I meet IT guys, I would say about a good 20 to 30% of the time, it's going to be guys with IT jobs. Like I said, outside of the ex-military, disabled military, retired military guys, I'm usually going to see IT guys, all right? YouTubers, that probably be the minority. You got some YouTubers that can live overseas and travel full time. But for the most part, it's going to be, my IT guys, all right? And then you got entrepreneurs too. I know a guy that owns a VPN site himself, and he travels as well. And you got guys that like different business owners that have established businesses overseas as well. And I interview those guys. So I want to give a shout out to my man Cerebral Aptitude too. I just dropped the interview with him. Really funny interview, guys. You should check it out. I dropped that interview this morning, so make sure you check that out. All right. It was funny because he was saying that he loses a lot of his employees to guys, wifing up his massage girls. That happens out here in Pattaya. So shout out to my man Cerebral Aptitude too as well. All right. My man Fitzroy George 915 says, let's get it, man. Shout out to you, man. Salute to you. We appreciate your service. I got my man Jeff. Jeff, I don't know if you one that want to get modded up, but I got you, bro. Shout out to my man Wonderful Travels. Says, salute to BMT and to chat. Salute to you as well, bro. Somebody said I got major Pookie fatigue. All right. Hey, before we get to the show, say programming pay the bills. Yeah, the programming thing. See, I talked to one of my IT guys after the show. He was saying programming can be a little sketchy with all the AI, but there's different categories you can go into when it comes to IT. All right. But before we even get to the Pookie stuff, I want to play this little clip right here. I shared this clip in the Facebook group. All right. Now, this doesn't really have nothing to do with travel, but I want us as men to start gatekeeping and safeguarding our spaces a little bit more. I think Black men have been guilty of this for quite some time, and that's one of the reasons we can never really get it together as a collective like we should get together. Now I'm gonna play this clip.
Over talking.
All right, so this clip is going viral. I guess they had some type of round table discussion. All right, and I didn't make the caption. It says the liberal beta male, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this. Like I said before, hey man, some conversations need to be had, and it needs to be a priority on what that conversation is focused on. And if that conversation is focused on, outside economics, if it's focused on relationships and family, then everybody doesn't need to be at that table who is not speaking on traditional relationships and family. Let's be honest. All right, but let's hear this clip.
Listen, I said 60s and 70s.
Let me say this.
Don't overtalk me.
I'm gonna fucking overtalk you because you're talking out of line.
But you're not gonna disrespect me.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I am.
I do. Love it.
I do.
You don't know what the fuck.
The one thing that
I love Clifton Powell, man. Shout out to Clifton.
I just want to talk about, I haven't talked to my daddy in 6 years. I don't give a fuck about what my family has gone through. I know where I will go.
Zesty ass Tim Duncan over here, bruh. Worse than a zesty ass motherfucker like over 6'5". That shit weird as hell.
So it's like, you can only say that for so long. Black women are tired and, kind of like putting onto them like, hey, you didn't do this entirely, because everybody in here, several people have talked about going to counseling. Have that upon yourself. Stop waiting for a woman to tell you what you need to do. Take that upon yourself.
Let me address that real quickly. For me, I didn't know fucking how to
Can I say one more thing? No, I have to say this, because another thing that happens is, too, you live your life for so long, and I'm not meaning no disrespect by this.
It's all right, just say it, bro.
But when you hit your 60s and your 70s, I want to be right.
Okay, but let me.
I want to live my life right. I want someone to take care of me and protect me, and that's what a lot of women have issues with.
Because I'm living it right the fuck now.
As I said,
I said 60s and 70s.
Let me say.
Why little zesty Tim Duncan got to raise his voice at the OG, man? Out of respect, bro. Let the OG talk, I know he kind of cut you off a little bit, but you ain't got to raise your voice at the OG. Man, let the OGs kind of have they say. They've been here twice as long as us in some cases, bro. Let them talk. As a, as the OG, okay, let him talk and then you can finish the conversation. But come on, bro.
Don't overtalk me.
I'm gonna fucking overtalk you because you're talking out of line.
But you're not gonna disrespect me.
You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I do.
Love it.
I do.
You don't know what the fuck you talking
about.
I do. You can't.
I do.
You don't know it, nigga.
I do.
I'm good. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Get the fuck out of here. I'm living. You can't tell me what the fuck I'm living, nigga. I'm living it right now. You cannot fix no shit that you don't even know is happening.
I think there's a misunderstanding. To be accountable is to dismantle patriarchy, because patriarchy makes it so that men have the power and women do not.
Now y'all going too deep on it. Y'all going way too deep in that discussion. Everybody don't need to be in that discussion, bro. They always try to break into some patriarchy, matriarchy, and it's the men versus the women and the system. And get the fuck out of here, man. We know exactly what's wrong within our community, and we know exactly a lot of cases what to fix. And it ain't got nothing to do with no patriarchy or no matriarchy or none of that bullshit. Like I say, everybody don't need to be in the room at these roundtable discussions. Respect to the OG, Clifton Powell. All right. He's done a lot of good work, man. He's one of the legendary actors. Clifton Powell is one of those guys that, he's in a lot of independent films. He gives a lot of independent young filmmakers their breaks. He works with you. Like I said, I'm not going to say exactly his prices, but I know that they're very reasonable. He comes on time. I've heard a lot of good things about Clifton Powell. Clifton Powell was in Richie Mack's first movie. All right. So shout out to Richie, my man, Richie Mack. But yeah, Clifton Powell, man, done a lot of work, man. He's really trying to help. And when you got an OG speaking, even if he cuts you off, hey, you can finish your statement. You can say, hey, man, I respect OG. Let me finish what I'm saying. But don't be doing all that shit, man, with OG, bro. Zesty ass Tim Duncan. Yeah, Clifton Powell. Somebody say he was funny in his Men's Society. Clifton Powell always funny, man. He's always funny. All right. Yeah. He played in some classics. That's Clifton Powell, bro. We got anyone in the room, guys. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button for your boy. Let's get to the story. We've been rolling for a little bit. Let's get right to the story. All right. So let me play this clip. Fair use. Let me remove this. Get this out of here.
Police say the murder suspect has been on the run and made it all the way to Bali. And we're learning the victim was targeted several times before he was killed. News 4's Emily Deanne is live at the Somerville Police Department mapping out a timeline. And Emily, the U.S. Marshals got involved along with authorities in Indonesia.
That's right, Ashley. The U.S. Marshals were waiting for the suspect in Bali when he got to the airport. They say they were able to track him after he got a temporary passport in Washington, D.C. in order to escape the country. Police say 20-year-old Anthony Prelo is in custody in Indonesia, facing charges here and charges there. He's accused of murdering 18-year-old Kamani Baker, shooting him in the chest while he was working at a Sonic. Schools were on lockdown as police searched for the shooter, and we've now learned that Baker was targeted prior to that shooting. Police say 3 men were involved in a shooting on January 7th at the Marco's Pizza on Dorchester Road, where Baker also worked. And investigators then learned that someone broke into Baker's apartment on December 23rd. We've also confirmed that there was another shooting at a Ladson home involving Baker, but there are few details that were released about what happened.
But I can also tell you this young man was not out in the streets. He was working 2 jobs.
As for Prelo, investigators say he flew to D.C. mid-January after killing Baker. They say he was able to get a temporary passport in Washington, D.C., then flew out of JFK to Bali. But his escape didn't last long. After landing in Jakarta, U.S. Marshals say he tried to outrun Indonesian authorities, but within moments he was captured and is behind bars in Bali tonight. Now, detectives tell me that Prelo faces charges of murder and the possession of a weapon during a violent crime, but his charges in Indonesia will need to be taken care of before the U.S. Marshals can bring him back here. Reporting live in Somerville, Emily Deanne.
And new details tonight, more than a month.
All right. So this is very similar to the situation of the guy getting arrested in Thailand. All right. He got arrested in Thailand. This guy right here. All right. Similar situation, murder, basically home invasion and murder. Okay. I gotta say, man, it's unfortunate, guys, but the hood got the memo. You know, they up on game now. You know, little Pookies, they getting their passports. This is ugly, bro. Like I said, they just arrested him maybe like last week. So the hood is on game now when it comes to traveling. You know, they committing murders and they getting the hell on. And I can't stand these home invasion Negroes. I just think that's just the worst type of low bottom ass criminal, breaking in people's houses. All right, let me see if I can find a picture of this clown. Hold on, let me see. This is the other guy though. This was actually in Augusta, Georgia. Similar situation, but he was actually on the run for a couple of years. All right.
Was shot and killed in Somerville. Police say
I'm gonna freeze frame is the other guy in a second. Typical Pookie. Like I said before, man, I just think breaking into houses and stealing Xboxes, and he went up to the man's job and shot the kid. 18-year-old kid, bro. This kid was working 2 jobs, lived on his own. They had broke into the kid house, went into his job, shot him in the chest, killed him, and I guess he got a temporary passport from DC and try to go back to Bali. I'm like, how you gonna survive in Bali with no income, bro? Like, come on, man. Somebody say he thought it was Russell Simmons. Yeah, this is the guy right here. It's the little Pookie right here. He's telling Dusty. And they're talking about charges in Bali. So basically what they're saying is they caught him arriving. They had already notified them. U.S. Marshals had already notified them of his arrival. And he took off on them. So just imagine you in Bali. You know how Bali is, right? You know, Bali got a lot of Europeans and, you know, bougie people and shit. And in some cases, you'll be the only brother, only sister up in there. And you see a black guy running through the airport on the run from the police, right? This guy. You know, he took him on some type of, you know, he ran away from him, and somehow he got some charges. I don't know if it's of evading police officer charges. I don't know if he maybe swung on him or something like that. But yeah, apparently he got charges in Bali too. So he has to face the charges in Bali first. So they must be, it had to be more than running. He probably swung on him. He probably tried to fight him off. And, you know, like I said before, bro, you black in Bali, they're going to catch you. Yeah, they're going to catch you, bro. But yeah, I just can't stand these low bottom. But like I said before, the hood is on the travel space now, right? This is why I always try to kind of, when I do my shows, I do Money Mondays, talk about crypto. I do interviews of entrepreneurs overseas. It's because I didn't want to attract a certain crowd. Like I was very careful on not trying to attract a certain crowd of individuals, right? But this the thing, when you got certain content creators that lead with the women, you know, the women attract everybody, bro. You know, those Dominican, you know, creep cameras, those Colombians, the hood is on go mode. They know about travel. They getting their passports, unfortunately, right? And this is just, like I say, this is low bottom behavior, breaking in houses, shooting people, killing people. You should see the other two. The other two guys look even worse than him. They look like your typical hood rat dudes, okay? He said he took him on a low-speed moped chest, Drew. Yeah, maybe, man. Yeah, breaking into houses, stealing Xboxes and shit. You know what's crazy, man? I remember, you know, I used to live in Latonia. Back in the day, I used to live in Latonia. And I remember when I was in school, when I was like a teenager and everything, Latonia was like the place to be for, you know, black people in Atlanta that will, you know, middle class black people. You know, everybody, they should say Decatur where it's greater. You know, Latonia sits a little bit further east in Decatur. And it was just like, you know, really nice houses, good neighborhoods. The schools were brand new. You know, it was more like family oriented. And I saw Latonia just go downhill. Like now it's like the hood, you know, and I was wondering, even back, this is years ago, I was wondering, I'm like, what happened? Like, how did this happen? Like, how did we go from a good suburban, middle-class black neighborhood to just a hood so fast? Like, it wasn't no crack epidemic or nothing like that. But what it was a few things. It was that big-ass new birth mega church. You know, churches don't pay taxes. So you got that seeding, taking money away from the neighborhoods, right? Not giving back. It was the mega Walmart that was sitting there. You know, the products that, you know, Walmart distributes within our neighborhoods, a lot of those products aren't, you know, owned by us. So that money is escaping. In a lot of cases, Walmart corporations don't pay any taxes at all. All right, because if you force them to pay taxes, they'll simply close. And that's hundreds of jobs lost. All right, so between the mega church and the mega Walmart, but you know what it really was? What really was the icing on the cake to Latonia was Section 8 housing, bro. Section 8 housing is what destroyed Latonia, Georgia. All right. Now they got Stonecrest, they got the new, I think they're still doing the Black Wall Street thing out there, you know, Turner Hill and all that good stuff. But it was really the Section 8 housing. And unfortunately, it's hard to say, but the single mother household is Section 8 housing that develop products like this. Okay? Yeah, Panola Road. What you know about Panola Road, wonderful child? What you know about Panola Road, bro? Shout out to my man, Ray Handel. Okay, yeah, you're right, Star King Marco. That was another reason. Star King Marco says they closed the projects all over ATL. The same happened in Clayton County. Yeah. Started with Clinton's administration. And you know what's crazy is a lot of them, you know, told people that they was going to rebuild the projects. You know, a lot of that didn't happen. But yeah, they closed the projects and they started getting Section 8 vouchers and they started, you know, moving out, and the whole neighborhood just went to trash, bro. And I understand as this small niche travel space that we kind of had to ourselves for the last 5 years, you know, the elements of it is changing. Really, I mean, it's a lot of dynamics that goes along. I'm not going to specifically blame it on certain types of YouTubers because I get blamed for ruining cities and countries and all nations and shit too as well. Even though I try my best to attract the right type of individuals. Listen, I know how easy it is to put a booty on a thumbnail, you know what I mean, and get a whole bunch of guys to, creep bait, click and all that shit. I know that's easy. It's not very difficult. You hire a chick or you pay somebody. But I always try to go deeper because I want to attract a certain type of individual overseas. But now, like I said before, this little travel niche space that we had, unfortunately, it's, got so big that you got hood pookies getting passports, committing crimes. Like I said, this is the second in the last 2 weeks. Will they make us look bad overseas? I don't know. I don't know. But this ain't a good look. I will say that. This is not a good look. Somebody said, Scottdale, my former hood. Shout out to my man Scottdale. Buck Travel, shout out to you. Change for the better. 111 says, facts. When they tore down all the housing projects in Atlanta, they brought all the Section 8 vouchers to Lithonia and Decatur. I went to high school with a lot of those guys from Bowen Homes. Shout out to Bowen Homes. All right. I have some bankhead. I had people, and John Hope was like one of the first projects that they tore down. That's near the AU Center in Atlanta. What was it? Bowen Home, John Hope. It was a whole bunch of Reynoldstown, Pittsburgh projects. It was a whole bunch of projects that got tore down and everything like that. But yeah, that's basically exactly what happened, man. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And I refer back to that video, and some of you guys might have seen this video of the black community in LA. There was a black community in LA back in the day, 50s and 60s, right? That was trying their best to tell whoever the powers that be that it was not a good look for black people from Mississippi or the South to move over there to LA, right? And it sounds kind of crazy when you're watching the video, but you see what they was trying to escape. You see what they didn't want to. They didn't want a certain crowd of us black people moving out there. And you see what happened to LA. LA became gang infested in less than a decade. All right. Shout out to my man, Brandon Clark Stocks. $10 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, Brandon. Appreciate that, bro. He's also a mod. Says BMT, shout out to you. This live stream is going to be good one. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, bro. Hey, Jeff, this is what I want to say, Jeff. Hold on. Hold on. Now, this is the thing. In a lot of cases, like I said, when you travel, especially in Southeast Asia, bro, you're going to be the only black person. And, it's just natural to look around. Like, even my wife be like, we was in Lloyd. She was like, I know you're looking for another black person. You're not going to see it here. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't think I saw any black people up in Lloyd. That's northern Thailand, like 10 hours away from Pattaya, shit, where she's from. And but just imagine you're the only black. It's the thing about Southeast Asia, which is so funny. It's even in Cambodia. It's all over. They really be assuming that you know the other black person. They really be like, you could be out here and a chick will show you a picture like, hey, do you know this guy? I'm like, no. I remember I was in a restaurant just last week and some Russians approached me. I'm in a restaurant last week. This is like a random restaurant that my wife found online or something. It was like all you can eat pizza. It was real weird, but it was like a smaller restaurant off in the cut. And I noticed it's some guys, some Russian guys, they going back and forth on a moped. And I'm like the only person, I'm like the only couple in this restaurant, by the way. But I noticed this little Russian guys with a moped, they keep going back and forth. They looking straight at me. And you know how you got to do your check, because I got a little hood senses too still. I got a little PTSD. I spent a little time in the hood, fella. So it's like, I'm looking at them. I'm like, why these motherfuckers keep riding by looking at me? So they stop and they come in, still looking at me. So I'm like, I get up immediately. I'm like, all right, let me get up, baby. Sit here for a second. Let me get up for a second. And I walk to where the water is, and they get up and they walk to the water is too. So I'm looking at them. I'm like, I don't know what's about to go down. But, I'm like Snoop Dogg on the airplane when he was beefing with Suge and Tupac. I got my little silverware in my hand. I'm like, I'm about to stab one of these cats in the eye. They come at me any way wrong. So they walk up to the table, and there's one behind the other, and I'm kind of already, and I got water in my hand, but I'm kind of like this, like, you know, I'm ready to roll. And he looks at me, he's like, hey, funny, in his Russian accent, hey, it's funny we keep running into you. And I said, what? And he said, wrong person, sorry. And they walk off. That's the type of thing you got to kind of deal with when you overseas. You know, they think all black people look the same and shit. They think we either African or, you know what I'm saying? In some cases, they just, you know, like they think we know each other. They think we're a small group and we together, but we not, you know. And I'm assuming they might, you know, loan some money to a black guy or a Nigerian guy that got scammed. I don't know. But I was very aware. I'm like, okay, some went wrong, because I could tell by the way they just kind of kept passing by. And keep in mind, this is not like a popular restaurant at all. This is like in the cut, like in the woods down there, you know? So I was ready, you know, because I'm not gonna let, you know, I know you see all these fantasy movies and you see a dude beating up 3-4 people. That's not real life. If it's 2 guys, that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. So yeah, I weaponize quick. You know, I weaponize quick. Yeah, so much I said. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it's a reflection on us all. So, like I said before, yeah, you in the airport. There's no other black people around, and you see this guy sprinting from the police. I guarantee everybody gonna look at you. They're gonna turn. They're gonna look at him. They're gonna be like, oh shit. They're gonna look directly at you, like, hey, what's going on with this guy? You know, be like, hey man, I don't know that ninja. I don't know him. But yeah, man. Daryl says, I do not agree. We are rare in a lot of these countries that most people don't even have much interaction with black people. They are just going based off rumors and media. Shout out my man Daryl Travels. Yeah, you're right. It's not a job to police the world. Somebody said, I'm starting Passportbros, Men on Mars. So basically, he fled. I believe he got an emergency passport. I think the passport was only valid for like 2 weeks. I think you can get a passport for like emergency situations. You get it expedited. He was on the run basically in South Carolina. He shot an 18-year-old kid in the chest while he was at work. He already broke into the kid's house. So he went up there with 2 other men. I don't know if they got 2 other men arrested yet. So there's 3 of them. Shot the kid in the chest. All right. Went to D.C., got an emergency passport, flew out of New York to Bali. By the time he got to Bali, the U.S. Marshals had already contacted the Bali police, and they arrested him or tried to arrest him, and then he took off running through the airport. And he got some type of charges. Like I said, he got some type of charges in Bali. They haven't released the charges yet. So I'm thinking that he might have swung on one of them or something like that. Maybe he assaulted one of them in the run. But yeah, that's basically what happened. And this is coming a week after they arrested this guy right here for a similar situation, murder. All right, home invasion murder out there in Augusta, Georgia. You know, that's like 3 hours away from Atlanta. Okay. So it's back-to-back weeks, but this is in another country. Of course, this is in Thailand. Okay. Shout out my man, Cigar Music 402 says, BMT, I've been living in Chile for the last 4 years. As long as you dress nice, look presentable, people will treat you well. Chile is a richer country. As a black guy, I've never had problems here. All right. Okay, and this is the guy that arrested right here. Okay. Now I want to also show this. This is, yeah, they were all young. They were all like under 21, I think. You know? All right, I want to share this story right here that's going on out here currently. All right. As you can see here, 4 Myanmar men attacked American of Bangkok over sister harassment. So this is like on the top one of the top stories in the news here currently. This guy ended up dying, you know, basically a chick from, I think she was from Burmese or something like that. I didn't even know there was that many Burmese out here. But he was harassed and she broke up with him. You know, she broke up with this American guy and she didn't want to get back with him. So he goes to her brother's apartment with a knife and tries to kick open the door. This is previous to him dying. And the guys didn't let him in the house, the apartment, basically. So he shows up to, I guess, the guy's job or something, the brother's job, and they get into it. I think he stabs one of them. And these little four guys, they, you know, delete him, basically. All right. And you can see these small guys, like if you guys don't know, ties definitely 100% stick together. But this guy had a knife. He apparently, allegedly, he appeared there with a knife. And you can see some of the guys, you know, a couple of them are, you know, I don't know if they smirking or smiling or whatnot. They got their faces covered or whatnot. But somebody in the comment section was like, oh, they about to go to jail and go to prison time. Things is very different out here. If they have a legitimate self-defense case, they probably won't do any time. And a lot of people don't know, man, when it's crimes and passions out here, a lot of these guys get let right back out. They get let right back out. You didn't know. It's not America. All right. You got some security guards on Soy 6 right now that got a couple of bodies on them. Okay. Because the foreigner struck first. So more likely, if the guy went up there with a knife to the job to argue about his ex-girlfriend, they're not gonna do that much time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a white guy. All right. And like I said, he was a big guy with muscles and everything like that. I think he was like 50 something. You see, he got muscles, you know, bigger guy. But listen, in the real world, you fight multiple people. That's the issue, especially if they know what they're doing. One go high, one go lower. Low is very difficult. Somebody said height don't matter when it comes to fighting. Man, y'all seen that? Y'all seen Rampage Jackson live streams with that little bitty boxer getting into it with everybody. Somebody slapped the shit out of, I think it was a bodybuilder slapped the shit out of the dude. And the next couple of days later, it was a former UFC fighter elbowed him in the head. Y'all seen those clips? That's just hilarious, man. All right, Cigar Music said in Southeast Asia, it is not us that cause the problems. It's mostly, this is true. It's mostly Europeans and Australians that get in trouble in Southeast Asia. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true. You know, most Americans in general don't get into too much trouble in Southeast Asia like that. For the most part. You got different elements that play out here. And that's where a lot of the visa restrictions come from. It's from these other ethnic groups. I ain't saying no names. I ain't pointing out no other, but they got like whole groups that, you know, commit heinous crimes out here. Ray Hannah Force says, okay, this just came to mind, BMT. What if the traitors here in the States form a dark operation by sending these goblins overseas just to sabotage the passport bros? I just think, man, you know, like when the hood get put on game, they get put on game, bro. Like the travel space, you know, they chat GPT and shit and looking at these, you know, guys in these countries, they're like, oh shit, I'm gonna do something stupid and I'm gonna just take my ass overseas, you know? So I don't think nobody got sabotaged. Oh, by the way, man, rest in power to Jesse Jackson as well. I know Jesse Jackson passed away a couple of days ago, so rest in power to him as well. All right. I want to play this clip real quick. Hold on, let me get rid of this. Hold on. I want to play this clip. This clip is hilarious. Hold on, where's the clip at? All right, for my guys out there in Cartagena. Hold up. Hey, yo, hold on. And shout out to my sisters. I know my sisters be out here in these travel spaces, but shit is much different overseas, man. Hold on.
Ladies, if you...
Hold on, let me let the stream catch up a little bit. I don't know what it is about some of these sisters that be going to places like Cartagena and have to do a TikTok video, so-called exposing the passport bros. All right. Hold on. Let me let the stream come up. Shout out my man. He says most Thai also know how to fight, and they invented Muay Thai. You know, it's Muay Thai is the sport. I keep forgetting the name of what it stems from, what it comes from. But they had a lot of hand-to-hand combat out here. It's Muay Thai is like the sport, but it's another martial art that's super. It's one of the most deadly martial arts, right? For hand-to-hand combat. I'm talking about you out of there, you know, like elbows, kicks in the right temple spots, all types of stuff that's really dangerous. So I forgot to start with a B or something, but some of them might know that as well. All right, so keep that in mind. Muay Thai is a sport. It's you know, based off points, knocking you out and shit. But there's another where it stems from, because they took a lot of certain moves out so it could be a sport. But it stems from one of the most deadly physical combats known to man. I forgot, like I said, I forgot the name of it. But some of these cats know that as well. Keep that in mind.
Listen here, ladies. If you single, come here. Let me tell y'all something. If you looking for the single men, the reason why they not finding you is because they out here in Colombia. They out here in Cartagena. They out here in Medellin, and they paying for punani. They just come here and get these women and they do whatever they want for the right price. They ain't got to pay your bills. They ain't got to help you with your kids. They ain't got to listen to your mouth. They out here getting it. Do you understand? And now don't get me wrong. The women are beautiful out here, but everybody ass look the same. You can tell if it's a BBL. Everybody ass sitting up the same. You got to ask, you got to ask, you got to ask. And it all look the same. I done came out here with a natural grown ass, and listen, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. The dudes is losing their minds. They ain't never seen something so pretty, so natural.
In Colombia, really?
Filled with silicone, real lips.
All right. Okay. Some of these sisters be out here be straight delusional. You know what's funny, man? I remember hanging out with some Afro, me and my friend, shout out my man Mick, who was hanging out with some Afro Latinas, you know, black sisters, black Colombian sisters. And it was a music video that came on, and they was making fun of the girls for having the fake bodies and everything like that, fake, you know, fake chests, fake booties and everything. And then maybe like a month or two later, me and my same friend, same homie, you know, we chilling with some, you know, white pies. Well, not them. I don't really consider them white, but you know, the pies, you know, pies are girls basically, and pies can be black and white, by the way. But the is it mestizos? You know, the whiter complected ones with the long hair, and they're making fun of I think it was like a Cardi B video. They making fun of the girls with the fake hair. So it go both ways. You know, women are never, you know, fully satisfied with their features in some cases, and they will alter their features. But like in one case, they'll make fun of their hair and say, "Oh, those are wigs and weaves that they wear. They don't wear real hair." Then the other girls will say, "Oh, this is, you know, fake bodies and everything." But to go back to this sister, shout out to this sister, man. Listen, you know, I don't know. You know, maybe somebody should put them on game before they make these trips, and they assume that they're going to be talking to guys, you know, and I see sisters in these, you know, in these travel spaces. A lot of times they get ignored for the most part, 90% of the time, and it's for specific reasons why. But it's just funny to me, man. A lot of these cats are just delusional, bro. Yeah, you know what was so crazy to me, man? I remember first going to Colombia and talking with Afro-Latina, and I'm not going to say it made me fall back in love with sisters or anything like that, but it just showed me how culture matters so much and how different, because we used to always think that, oh, it's just them, that's how they are, you know, but, you know, you go to a place like Colombia and you see they just as feminine can be. No, it's not Win Chun. I don't think it's Win Chun. It's something else. Somebody say ain't nobody checking for her in Colombia. Right. All right. Shout out my man. Did you change your name, bro? Tatulada. The $9 super chat, man. Shout out to you. No one checking for her in Colombia. Right. And it's the thing, man, like, if you just kind of just not try to stalk the brothers in, these clubs and bars like Delirium or something, you might meet a good brother in a little co-ed space or a travel group or something. I remember I had one guy. Oh, man, I had one dude that was going to Colombia just as much as me. He would spend weeks down in Colombia. And he got a sister pregnant, right? He linked up with his sister. His sister's all around Colombia, Medellin. We go hang out with him and everything like that. But he got a sister pregnant, and she put him on child support ASAP. I mean, soon the baby was born, put him on child support. He has not left the state since. All right, he hasn't left it. As far as I know, he hasn't left. He hasn't been able to financially afford to travel since. So a lot of guys be kind of like, hands off. I don't want to get put on them papers. All right. Right. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's a lot of good women out there. Colombia, Brazil, Cuba, the DR. I mean, it's a lot of sisters with just a different mindset. All right. Ça passe. All right, hold on. Let me play one more clip. Now I want to go to another story real quick, man. I want to follow up on a stream I did a couple of days ago. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. All right. So this is in Bangkok. it goes so deeper, but I'm just going to play this little quick clip. Hold on.
Too good for me to be sane. Let me say it again. My pussy is too good for me to be sane. Do not try to passport bro me. It will be your biggest regret and mistake. I can be as sweet as pie, giving you everything you want, but as soon as I feel disrespected or like you're playing with me, you will see another side of me.
All right, streams bugging out a little bit. But this chick has been out here in Thailand. She's been kind of going mini viral in the Black in Thailand Facebook group. She's been putting out a lot of stuff out. I'm not going to play, the majority of the videos, say who she's calling out or anything like that. But, allegedly she's saying, hey, you over here in Thailand, don't try to passport bro her. Hold on.
Can I give you a PSA? My pussy is too good for me to be sane. Let me say it again. My pussy is too good for me to be sane. Do not try to passport bro me. It will be your biggest regret and mistake.
Why are we always getting mentioned in everything? What does this got to do with the passport bros? Just because it's an American brother that you falling out with?
Be a sweet.
And this is another thing, man. Like, you're not helping so-called exposing the passport bros. You got an American brother that took you out, allegedly maybe took you out to eat and dated or whatnot. You should be happy. You winning over here. But if things go left and things go wrong and you got to go online and expose the so-called passport bros and shit, it makes it even harder for sisters to date overseas.
Just pie, giving you everything you want, but as soon as I feel disrespected or like you're playing with me, you will see another side of me. I am my daddy's daughter. Let me say it again. I am my daddy's daughter. Please do not try to passport bro me. I don't care about none of your other women, whatever it is you got going on. I'm nobody's secret, and I'm going to make you stand on it. Do not try to passport bro me, PSA.
What does that mean? Do not try to passport bro you. Like I'm and she does a lot of like content, man. She be dressing pretty revealing. Now in the video, she pretty much complains about Thailand the whole entire time. And she's kind of going at the Thai women a little bit. And the Thai women were so nice to her. They were so nice. They took her to the temple. She mad because they tell them how to dress. Yes, you dress conservative at temples, okay? Like you can't dress like you dress now at a temple. All right, she was complaining about the host of the Airbnb and being micromanaged. I mean, she's complaining about black people in Thailand and how they scamming and all this type of shit. All right, I mean, she just went in on all the black people in Thailand. Sisters too. She was saying sisters don't speak to her, other Americans are not talking to her, and all types of stuff. Like, it was just crazy. Like, she just went in, man. But she's funny. I give her that. She's funny. But guys, if you see her, do not try to passport bro her. Okay? Do not try to passport bro her. All right. All right, let me get to that super chat real quick. Trusting the Nerd, $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. To name change, I just have a lot of accounts that I forget that I'm logged in on. I need to stay on this account. I am tagged. All right, so shout out to you, bro. Appreciate the super chat. All right. Okay. She was complaining about that too. She was complaining about some about lady boys. Hey guys, let me tell you something, man. I'll be dropping my wife off at her job and everything. And you guys really better be careful on, who you courting and who you dating. Luckily, it's pretty much social norm to tell the women to tell the lady boys to tell you that they men. They ID stay the same, so ask for ID. But when she be pointing out lady boys to me, I just be like, because she works in the college, and I just be like, doesn't like a lady, doesn't like a man at all. So, but anyways, she was stating that a lady boy was doing her hair correctly, and Thai chick messed it up or something. She was stating in the video. All right. Somebody said she paid overweight. Now, to sisters' credit, I'm not bashing sisters here. I have seen a Thai guy with a black woman out here before, but she was slimmed down. She was very slim. She was very nice. We talked in the Big C. Her boyfriend was Thai. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's rare, but you see it in some cases. That's the question. That's the question. How do you passport bro a woman? I don't know. I'm still curious about that as well. I have no idea who Tommy Schaefer is. All right. But yeah, the video goes on. She's so-called exposing passport bros. I don't know. But let me hold on. I want to follow up. I want to do a quick follow-up to a show I did, and YouTube yellow marked it for some reason. I don't know why YouTube yellow marked it. But hold on, now we did a show about this Russian guy that was pretty much had some sneak glasses on. All right. He had sneak glasses on. He went to Ghana, South Africa, and Kenya. Now, you guys know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but I think here's one of the videos. Hold on, I'll play in a second. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play her in a second. But the Russian guy has been arrested in Japan. And you know that in South Africa, there's a very aggressive strand of HIV, and the reports have just came out for 2025, and it's very high out there. As high as 1 in 4 women between the ages of 15 and 49 in South Africa have HIV. Okay, so this Russian guy went to South Africa. Okay, he went to Kenya, he went to Ghana, and they're saying allegedly that a woman found out that she was HIV positive. All right, I believe the woman's in Kenya. She deleted herself once she found out that she was HIV positive. Okay. And this is just a video of a woman explaining some of the stuff that happened. All right. Now, what is crazy, and I have another clip I might play too, but what's crazy is she just kind of goes off on a tangent on the men toward the end of the video. All right, shout out, man, Trust in Their Dynasty. Super Chase says, I ignore the F out of them. Worldwide, I don't speak. I mean, I speak. I'll be honest with you. I speak. All right, some of them are cool. All right, I speak. You know. All right, so let's see what she got to say. And like I said, at first she was giving some information, and then she just went in on the men for some reason.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to say something about what is going on in the country, about this Russian guy. According to Malcolm says that this guy is HIV positive because apparently research has been done and that is what has been discovered. The guy is HIV positive. The sister reported him to the Interpol and he's been arrested in Japan. Sit down.
So allegedly his sister, the Russian guy's sister, reported him to Interpol and they arrested him in Japan because allegedly outside of cyber crimes that he committed in Ghana, I believe, Kenya didn't put no charges on him, but he's HIV positive. Allegedly, they're saying he's HIV positive and he's arrested. He got arrested in Japan.
Sit down. On your knees, on your knees, on your knees. You have your passport with you? Yes. Yes, you have the right to lawyer. So, first
we'll talk about that later. I can see men all over social media, okay? They've come out. They're making a field day out of this. Men are out here talking, laughing about this, acting shocked, acting amazed. They're even gone on radio to talk about these girls. Let me
I don't know how, I guess she's assuming she's Kenyan. Of course, the men have a right to be shocked. All right. You got men out there paying dowries for these women. Okay. They paying, however much money for these dowries for these women. And yes, they are shocked about how easy it is to get these Kenyan African women, Ghanaian women, South African women back to their bedroom. So yeah, the men have a right to be shocked and appalled and report on this. But it's like she's almost excusing it.
Tell you, I want to address the men before I address the women. If you're a man, kindly shut up. I would like to ask you, shut up, keep quiet, stop it with this Russian guy and these ladies. You understand? If you have a daughter, shut up. If you have a sister, shut up. If your the firstborn in your family is a daughter, shut up. If at any particular point you've called your sister for a small loan, for school fees, for pocket money, for uniforms, for books, for food, for anything, ever, if your sister has ever supported you, shut up. If your sister holds your family, your mother is sick, your mother is old, there is no house, I don't know, she has no clothes, your father is a drunkard, your mother is just a laborer, or she's sick, she cannot work, your sister has stepped up, shut up. You understand? If you're a man that has frustrated orphans out here, shut up and wait for God to deal with you. Because you see these girls, you see this thing they're doing, this is survival. This is survival, and this is what this city is. That is what Nairobi is all about. Survival. And these girls have got no any other way. Because believe you me, without connections in this country, what do you have? You get a...
It's deeper than just survival. It's deeper than that. It's much deeper than that, bro. This guy was just literally walking up to women, working class women in grocery stores and hotels. And he was doing this thing. He was secretly recording them. Allegedly, he has HIV as well. All right. It's more just you trying to excuse the women for their behavior. And you're mad at the men for calling it out. Your local men, you mad at. Now, when old Jay Rello was out there, it was hell and half fire. She's trying to excuse his behavior, basically. Right. Somebody said Zed was offended. I bet she was. My man say a handful of passport bros getting arrested is meaningless. These guys ain't no passport bros. These is pookies. These is hood cats, street cats. This ain't got nothing to do with the passport bros. All right. And this is the thing, man. I don't know how the women didn't know they was being recorded. I think the women knew they were being recorded. Like the cameras is right there. You can clearly, and it lights up when it's recording. Maybe he had it covered. I don't know. But in one case, I saw a woman looking directly at the camera. I saw a woman put on his camera glasses. So saying they all didn't know, that's BS. Yeah, they always blame. They blame passport bros there. As a matter of fact, in the article, can I hold on? Let me play if I can find the article. I'm not an article, but the news clip. They mentioned passport bros at the end. I'm like, what the hell we got to do with this? Russians aren't passport bros. Hold up.
Women who clearly crave this type of nonsense attention.
Of the videos that were posted online. That is a crime.
Russian content creator Vyacheslav, identified as Vyacheslav Trakov, is facing major backlash after videos surfaced showing him approaching women in public spaces in Ghana and Kenya, then allegedly posting clips of those encounters online. In the footage circulating on TikTok and other platforms, he's seen striking up conversations.
She don't look like she's just struggling too bad. She's saying it's all about survival.
In malls and other public areas before inviting women to hotels or Airbnbs. Reports claim he used Meta-Ray Ban smart glasses to secretly record interactions without clear consent. The controversy first exploded in Ghana. Ghana's Cybersecurity Authority publicly condemned the alleged secret recordings as a violation of privacy laws. Communications Minister Sam George reportedly vowed to pursue international cooperation, including possible involvement of Interpol, and even suggested legal action in absentia if necessary. TikTok later banned his account.
Is interested in, and my ministry is interested in, is not in the moral judgment of the individuals. It's in the non-consensual sharing of the videos that were posted online. That is a crime.
But in Kenya, the response has been noticeably different. Despite the growing outrage online, the relevant authorities, particularly the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration and the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communications and Digital Economy, ICT in short, have so far remained silent on the matter. And that silence is raising questions. If the allegations are accurate, especially regarding secret recordings and monetizing content without consent, this could potentially fall under Kenya's cybercrime and data protection laws.
Man, he ain't gonna have no issue in Kenya.
So far, the most vocal reactions haven't come from government officials, but from some influencers. Some content creators have publicly condemned the incident. They have called out the incident as a violation of consent and privacy, especially if the videos were recorded secretly and used for profit.
And I know you guys, when it comes to social media, kila mtu anaogopa, kila mtu anawainamia. Hakuna platform ya any one of those people inafaa kwa ikisimama as we speak. Wanafaa kuwa so discouraged. Mwingine akifikiria kukuja kufanya hizo vitu huku.
Let me stop it for a second, let it catch up. Somebody said, I saw a video of a Kenyan man trying to blame Black American men for this life. What we have to do with this? All right, hold on, let it catch up. I don't know why it's, hold on.
On Telegram, he's selling them probably on OnlyFans or other platforms to his audience. That is criminal. That is criminal, because you could tell these hands are very receptive because they thought this man is showing them genuine affection.
The debate has also sparked wider discussions around the so-called Passportbros trend, where foreign men travel to African countries.
Man, this ain't got nothing to do with the Passport Bros. Jay Rello's not a Passport Bro. And at least he's doing filming with consent.
Claiming it's easier to find relations.
Isn't it a trigger to film with a woman that you're talking to? And I'm not talking about no damn Jay Rello. I'm just saying they mentioned Jay Rello. All right, he did a lot of cringe shit while he was out there. He's got like a shock jock. They got rid of his YouTube. They banned him from Airbnb and all that. But is it, if it's consensual and you're sitting there on the couch asking a foreign woman questions, like what's the issue?
Relationships, a movement that has already faced criticism over power dynamics and exploitation concerns. So now the bigger question is this simply controversial content creation, or does it cross a legal and ethical line? Should Kenyan authorities step in like Ghana appears to be doing, or is public pressure enough? Let us know your thoughts.
All right. Okay. So they mentioned the Passport Bros in this, as you know. Right. Passport Bros has nothing to do with this. And they also, like I said before, they threw Jay Rello up into the mix. What he got to do with anything? It's just a bunch of BS, bro. It's unfortunate. It's a bad look. All right. Some people are trying to excuse it. Some guys are, hot and heated because they got to pay them diaries out there for those women getting down. All right. But it is what it is. I said, bet that dude, we don't know a video about this. Yeah, probably not. All right, guys. All right, so we're not going to do a panel today, fellas. I just want to do a quick update. We're going to keep it an hour long today, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned for the interviews I'm doing this week as well. And also, if you guys want to come on my Money Mondays, all right, where we discuss how to make online or make money to live abroad in different ways, you're welcome to do that as well. You can hit me on email at blackmentravels@gmail.com. I got to make sure you're not a scammer. All right. Because I think I had a scammer on here one time. I took his videos down. All right. Some type of stock forex scammer shit. But once I make sure everything's legitimate, I'll bring you on the show and we can discuss ways of, how you earn money to live abroad. All right. We out, guys. Peace.